Today we're talking about purpose and happiness. If you had to choose, which one would you want? How is it we can do some amazing and sometimes unexplainable things, like heal our own bodies by the power of our thoughts? Mother's intuition, the law of attraction. Can we really tap into our subconscious mind? Can we really create our own realities? It begs the question, are we novice gods? Hey, thanks for joining me. Today we are talking about purpose and happiness. This has been an amazing experience doing this documentary series. I hope you've enjoyed the whole series. If this is your first time here, we are finding out about how much more power we have to actually contribute, to actually design and build and enjoy the kind of lives that we truly want. It's a personal development show. I hope that you are getting great insights out of here. And what I'm doing is I'm sharing the things that I've learned in the last 5 years since I got out of my victim mindset, since I got out of this pit that I was in where I felt stuck, where I felt trapped, where I felt like nothing was going right in my life and nothing I did mattered, and I couldn't get out of this cycle. So as I've learned these amazing truths, I am now sharing them with you to make them super accessible to you so that you can enjoy the kind of life that you truly want. So purpose and happiness, which one do you want? Can you have both? Well, when I started out with happiness. I created an app. If you want to be happy, check some of these things out. I created an app. It's called Feed Your Happy. It's available for iPhones. I wrote a book, 7 Core Skills of Everyday Happiness. And I did a course called Get Happy Now because I found out that happiness was a skill. And it was this amazing thing. Suddenly, I got out of this victim mindset. Suddenly, life was not happening to me. It was happening for me. And I was able to be a partner with God in creating the kind of life that I truly wanted. And it was so amazing that I was experiencing this joy, these feelings that I had not felt for years. I was so in my head. I was so angry. I was so volatile. I don't know if you've ever been there or if you're there now, but it was just horrible. But then, learning that I had the power to create happiness myself, to self-spark, and that by taking a skills-based approach, it was life-changing. But you know what? As I started diving deeper into this, I found out that there was something more satisfying than happiness, more satisfying than these emotions and these feelings of joy and contentment and peace. And that was feeling that my life had a purpose. And so I started looking into what is my purpose. And I found that once I realized that I had an actual purpose for my life, that there was reason, that there was a meaning to my life, there was a meaning to the challenges that I was facing, it changed everything. Then when I was having bad days and having challenges and having things go wrong that I didn't anticipate, yes, I could still turn them around and feel happy. But by knowing that I had an overall purpose, just kind of guided all of these things so that the challenges seemed to have, there was a method to the madness. There was some things that were, anyway, it just made a difference to me to have the bigger picture there, to feel like I had a purpose, I had a mission, I had a reason. And I hope that you know that too. And if you don't, I want to share 4 C's today that will help you to find your purpose, to discover what your mission is in life, okay? And really what it is these are 4 ways for you to explore and to discover them. The first C is on clarity. Now, clarity is this wonderful thing that we think we have, and generally we don't. I remember years ago, I was sent to Mongolia. I'm a filmmaker by trade, and I was sent to Mongolia to film this amazing thing that they were doing. They had these American doctors, and they were going to Mongolia, and they were restoring sight to the blind. Can you imagine that? Can you imagine going there and filming these people and seeing people that were blind one day and then could see the next day? Can you imagine the expression on their faces? What life must be like for them to suddenly be able to read words and to see trees and to see faces and people who they hadn't seen maybe in years? As I thought about this, I imagined that these doctors had this breakthrough cutting edge surgery techniques that were so cutting edge that they couldn't get FDA approval on them here in the United States. And so they wanted to go there, test it out on people that wouldn't sue them, and kind of do clinical trials out there. That's what was going through my head. And you know what? That isn't what it was at all. What it was is they were doing cataract removal surgery. I mean, it's so basic, it's so simple, it's so we get cataracts removed in the United States kind of like we get our teeth cleaned. I mean, it's a in and out sort of surgery. You go in, boom, you're done, and suddenly you can, you get rid of this haze that has built up on your eyes. These cataracts that have started to grow over your cornea and things. And well, out in Mongolia, they didn't have access to medical procedures like this all the time, and so this just clouded up until their eyesight became hazy, until it finally clouded over so much that they became blind. Reversible blindness. This is something that they didn't have to live with, but they didn't know about it. They didn't know that this was fixable. They thought they were blind and forever blind, and that would be forever their state. And they had no idea that a simple treatment could make such a change in their life. Now, I got to tell you, you and I, we are both psychologically blind. We have mental cataracts on our minds, on our eyes, on our thinking. And that's so much what this documentary series is about getting rid of these limiting beliefs and these perceptions and things that are holding us back. But it comes down to we really need to get clarity. So the first step in figuring out your purpose is to get clarity. In order to remove these mental cataracts that are holding you back, you've got to get some help to get rid of these. Here are a few things that you can do to get clarity. Some are to, maybe pay attention to to this series, subscribe, check out more shows. I will share more of the things that I've learned about removing limiting beliefs. You can get a coach. You can get somebody who could kind of take an outside perspective on your life and give you some advice on some things that you can change and alter so that you can remove those limiting beliefs yourself. Or you can find a trusted loved one who cares about you and is willing to just be really frank in telling you how it is. Now, the second C is curiosity. Who am I? What am I about? As you start to explore some of those questions, you start to explore about what kind of gifts do I have? Is there purpose? Is there meaning to my life? What could that be? What am I especially gifted with that my mission could be about? Why was I sent here at this time in this area? Why was I given these challenges? Why was I given these abilities? A lot of times you find your message is in your mess. If you look at your life and maybe your life hasn't turned out quite the way you wanted and you've got some things that haven't gone well for you, maybe those are the things that you have learned as you've gone through those, maybe those are things that you can share with other people. Maybe in getting curious about who you are and what you're about, maybe that's how you move to the third C, which is contribution. What is your contribution to make? What is your life about? Are you here to make a difference? Are you here to leave a legacy? Will the world be a better place because you were here? Or will you be a one and done kind of, did we miss him? I hope that you will find out, get curious about who you are, get curious about your gifts, get curious about your talents, and get curious about what kind of contribution you can make. I told this story in a previous episode about a guy who just helped me out, restored my faith in humanity, restored my faith in God. Just an amazing story about a guy who had amazing mechanical skills and was kind enough to help me not only change the battery in my car, but my alternator. Check out that episode. But think about, and as you check that episode out, think about what kind of gifts and talents do you have where you can make a contribution when somebody needs help, that you can step in and do what you can to make their life a little bit better. Now, the fourth C, once you figure out kind of who you are and what your contribution can be, the fourth C is consistency. If you're going to make a difference in the world, it doesn't happen just one time. It happens day in and day out. As you start, as you work, as you continue to contribute and to add value to the world, it's in building up. It's in doing this over and over again, the repeated times that you share your talent and your gifts, and that you keep making a difference. That's where you're really going to find your contribution, is that consistency. I suggest, finding a morning routine that allows you to figure out what your core values are, and then each day make daily progress in meaningful work. That will help you really figure out what your contribution could be. So anyway, purpose and happiness, which one do you want? You want both. And trust me, if you go for purpose, if you have meaning to your life, you will find happiness, and you will find it in a very enduring way, so that even when things go hard, when you're living your purpose, when you're advancing your mission, and when you are making a difference in other people's lives, it makes a huge difference in your own. What are your thoughts? You've had time to think. Now it's time for you to share. In the comments section below, share your thoughts, ideas, and questions, especially any insights that inspired you to take action. Of course, the best place to take action is at scottwilhite.com, because if you join me for a free web class, I will reward you with a purpose planner so you can start each day with confidence, clarity, and conviction. What if you are a God in the making? That would mean there's purpose to your life, meaning to your challenges. You have a great work to do. May you have the courage, faith, and power to become who you were truly meant to be. See you next time.